So this here is my 1990 model Mazda B2600i 4-wheel drive 5-speed. It's the same year, model, and engine type as my 7-year dead Mazda truck, but that one is a 2-wheel drive automatic, and that is a 4-wheel drive 5-speed, and cab plus versus standard cab. This one is my massive project because I want to customize almost every single inch of it. Starting at the bumper, we currently have a S10 brush guard that I relocated the grills. As you can see, the old holes used to be right there, and I've had to move the eyebrows down and put it on so it fits it nice and snug. The headlights are out of a Jeep, or supposed to be for a Jeep, and they come with the built-in white bars here that can do daytime running lights and turn signals, which is really effective when the previous owner decides to paint over your turn signals, and either way nobody can see them because they're underneath the bumper. Even with a 2-inch lift kit, people were not being able to identify that I was trying to turn. However, this whole front bumper assembly from headlights down is going to be completely swapped out when I get my Jeep Cherokee Rugged Ridge steel plate bumper and mount it to here. I gotta narrow it and get mounts made, but then I'm also going to be putting on a Jeep Wrangler winch brush guard, so it'll replace the whole guard and the bumper. So everything will be replaced on the front end, and I'll get a little bit better approach angle, which I've already got pretty decent about of approach angle. Again, with a 2-inch lift kit. This lift kit was purchased from Ironman 4x4. It's a Australian company, but they do have a domestic US market, and sometimes they're actually in stock of Mazda parts. It's pretty much the only website I've found that has a aftermarket support, especially a lift kit, for these trucks. But along with the lift kit, I got Isuzu rims. These are off of a Axiom or a Isuzu Trooper, but they're 17-inch alloys, and they have 2-inch hub spacers built onto or put onto them, so they can fit right without having to rub the wheels while you're turning. The fender flare is off of a Nissan hardbody, or the pickup, or Pathfinder, or however you want to call them. They are from the 90 area of years, but there's still a lot of piecing together to get it just right, because there's a bit of a gappage right down here. This little corner was busted by the previous owner, so I gotta get that fixed. I got these out of a junkyard for like $5. And speaking of Australian companies with a lift kit, these doors are actually from New Zealand or Australia, I can't remember which one, but America never got the tilt window in this year model of truck. They also never got a 4-door version of this truck. However, you can import them now thanks to the 25-year law, and another Mazda fan imported a 4-door version of this truck with these doors on it, and he didn't like these doors because they do produce a good bit of wind noise when you're driving, and he wanted standard American doors where you can get the glass for every day, and you can't really get the glass, or the window crank is also different, and the mirrors are also different. So lots of little bits on this door are different than domestic market can support. So of course I'm customizing everything in the Sun, so it doesn't bother me to get these, and I like the tilt windows. They have a Toyota style gear crank here instead of the Mazda style that is cable driven to roll the window up, because if you center domestic market, it's off center for this. So just a little bit of modification I'm working on for this thing. Is pretty much going to be completely custom. I got plans for the outside door panel. It's going to be the first step so that I can sound deaden everything, and I'm actually going to convert to power using Toyota gears and have a speaker system set up right around here That way I can have a door pocket down here like the OEM LX doors or LX trim. But it's constantly in a state of projects. I currently have a headliner that I spent a good 3 months sewing together. Not sure if it's showing up on camera very well, but it is a quilted pattern that I hand sewed together with crocheting yarn just so that I could get a stiff headliner. That way I can do with these fiber optic cables. Whenever I get done messing with it, I'm going to be able to trim these back and trim them flush. But there's a light box emitting pinpricks of light everywhere around here to make a starlight headliner. And while I was at it, I went ahead and put an overhead console from a GMC Safari into this. So this is what this came out of, a GMC Safari minivan. And you know, you got plenty of slots. I'm going to put switches up in there. And you got your sunglasses holder. This can be CDs or napkins or whatever you want. And it's got 4 eyeball position map lights that you can toggle on and off. I currently have all the wires disconnected over there, so it'll be put together, because I messed up in putting shared positives instead of shared grounds for these lights, because this needs a constant both of them need constant positive, but this needs a switch ground due to the door, and these need constant ground because these are the switches. And I messed that up. I got to rewire it, and that means dropping the whole headliner, which means getting the camper shell off, and we open the window, which means getting the headliner down so then I can rewire, and I haven't got around to doing that. There's also LX seats that I have right now. This LX seat from the previous owner was torn up, so I got rid of it and had to put a OEM seat standard into it. I'll have Toyota Supra seats from a 70s or 90s, I can't remember which model. It came out of a junkyard, so I just grabbed them because they look good. But these are going to be custom. I'm going to have sound system in the back. I don't really have kids or anybody else to ride along in the back, and there's not much room back there anyways. A whole lot of customization is going to happen in here because I want to mess with everything. The running boards here are actually off of a Ford Transit van, and they're actually going to get JKU Smitty built triangular truss rock sliders put underneath and welded to the frame, so that the step will be your surface instead of bars, because I always am paranoid I'm going to stick my foot through the bar and break it or something. But so aluminum step with armor down below so you can rock slide. So, and the lift kit again is from Ironman 4x4. They came with brand new shocks and stiffer and beefier leaf springs and polyurethane bushings for the hangers and the front assembly or front connection for the rear. And the front suspension got beefier torsion bars to lift the front end. So it is a true 2-inch suspension lift. I actually ended up getting about 4 inches in the rear because the old leaf springs were so tired at stock height with just the bed empty. The leaf springs were flat. So if you do go for the lift kit, expect a little bit more than 2 inches out of the rear. The rear of the truck is going to have a whole lot more customs as well. The bumper I might hold on to for a while. I mean, it's useful. But I'm actually going to put Nissan Pathfinder spare tire carrier, because it actually bridges the tail lights perfectly and can swing around and mount a spare tire there, because the previous owner of the truck I bought here went and put dually exhaust on this, and you probably saw it recently. It's not really designed the best. It just comes off of a 90-degree bend up there, so it drones. It sounds terrible. I want to fix that. And because it is bridging around and around, I can't put my spare tire under there without it sitting on the exhaust pipes. So there's a lot to be done down underneath. But I currently have a S10 cab visor mounted on and clearance lights. These lights are also included in the harness along the pillar here that I gotta get connected. They currently don't run, but they used to be on that truck and they run great. And it's hilarious to have a mini truck with clearance lights because people actually get out of the road when you're coming back instead of trying to run you off the road. So you have to get some decency in driving. But these are riv nutted right in here and siliconed on both ends of the riv nut. The bolt goes in, and then these are actually caps that you can pop the lid off of and still access the screws. So this is completely removable except for the cable, because the grommet up there is siliconed in, so it's literally where you can just flip it over the way so that you can get the windshield replaced if necessary. So this truck has got a lot of stuff I'm working on, and pretty much the end goal is to have this color. It's a 2014, I think, Dodge Charger green, which is referred to as F8 green. And for whatever reason, if you go to the auto stores, they always give you emerald green, and it's a completely darker black green instead of this, you know, nice forest emerald green. So gotta get that. I'm gonna paint the whole thing, especially these manila doors black. You know, everything's a different color on this truck. But it also needs to get its transmission swapped out with this parts truck transmission, because I blew it 4th gear because the synchronizers aren't working in this, and I downshifted trying to pass an 18-wheeler on the interstate and deleted 4th gear. So that needs to happen. So I'll probably make a video on that as well. I have parts all over the place here. But that's it for this truck. For now, you'll be seeing it in my Baja, the Subaru, and a lot of videos. And these other trucks like that one might be in a video depending on if it's savable. But hope you enjoy.